What's going on, everybody? It's DK with RPM Gaming, where we talk about retro PC and mobile gaming. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's grow this channel together. Also, stick around at the end of the video for the latest retro rewind. I hope everybody had a safe and happy 4th of July and kept all their fingers intact so you guys could take advantage of Scuf Gaming's new Nomad Bluetooth controller for iPhone, which we're going to unbox and review. So, let's get started. Okay, full transparency. This is the finished product and not a review unit. I'm not being paid for the review. From everything I've heard, the controller is supposed to release on July 8th. I ordered mine right at the end of June and got it by July 3rd, I think. I'm not sure why I got it early. Maybe they done an early release on it or something of that nature. Okay, so out of the box, you got your warranty paper information. Got a charging cable, which is USB to USB-C. Magically make that paper pop off that controller like so. In this box here, these are the extra caps for the thumbsticks. They set up a little higher and have a more rounded top on them than the ones that are on there now. Those have a more concave top. And this rubber piece is the camera adapter for the iPhone. So first impressions, it's got a nice smooth slide to it. The thumbsticks seem like they have a good amount of travel to them. Feels like a regular controller style thumbstick. And they are Hall effect sensor, so shouldn't have any problems with stick drift. The buttons are a little small, but they feel really nice and premium. The D-pad is a little smaller, and it's more in the style of like the old Sega controllers, or more like an Xbox controller. We'll do a little testing on that here a little later. Shoulder buttons, they feel really nice, and the triggers, they feel good. They have a little bit of a shallow travel to them, but they feel good. The back buttons, they take a little bit of force to press down, but it's nothing too hard. It feels really good. The back of the controller and the inside where your phone rests has a nice grippy rubber texture to it. The controller is Bluetooth 5.0 and overall has a nice quality feel to it. The shoulder buttons on this thing are super quiet. They have hardly any sound to them. And here you can see the travel of the triggers. They have a nice curvature to them for you to rest your fingers on. They feel really, really nice. The extra thumbstick caps do set up a little higher, and they have a nice rounded edge to them. You can see the ring around the base of the thumbsticks. This is what Scuf calls an anti-friction ring. It makes the travel of the thumbsticks feel really smooth. When you're ready to switch out the thumbsticks, you just pop off the ones that are on there, place the new ones on there, and press down. They do take a little bit of force to get on there, but you'll know once they're in place with that nice satisfying click. As I mentioned before, the face buttons are a little small, measuring in at just over 7 millimeters. They're still very comfortable and have a nice glossy finish to them. The D-pad is a little smaller than I'd like, coming in at just over 19.5 millimeters. I'm using an iPhone 15 Pro Max with a really thin case on it, but you can see the lip edge of the controller just doesn't quite cover it. The case is really smooth, and so the rubber texture on there with the lips not covering it just doesn't quite grip it. So it's not very secure with this case on. This rubber piece here is the camera adapter that you slide onto the controller for the iPhone. What this does is cause the phone to set up just a little bit higher so that the camera bump on the back of the phone sets flush with the controller. Without the adapter in place, one side of the phone will be sticking up just a little bit higher than the other side. Without the case on my phone, you can see that it sets just under the lip edge of the controller like it's supposed to, and the rubber textures on the back and the sides of the phone grip it really well. If you have a phone case that doesn't have the rounded edges on it, but more square edges, the controller is going to have a really hard time gripping it, especially if you're laying in bed at night and you want to turn it upside down. That might be a little bit painful. But if you have a case that has the more rounded edges on it, with a little grippier feel and not a super smooth one, then yeah, the controller's not going to have any problem gripping it. So as long as you're not one of those angry gamers who likes to shake your controller really hard, I don't think you'll have any problem with the phone being secure in it. I recommend downloading the Scuf Mobile app. It's subscription free and has a ton of features. When you're ready, put your phone in the controller, go to your Bluetooth settings, hit the home button on the controller, and once it shows up, all you have to do is pair it. Then hit the Scuf button and it will automatically bring up the Scuf Mobile app. When pairing for the first time, we'll also bring up a tutorial, which you can revisit at any time during the settings under Help. and view tutorial. In here you'll see all the cool features of the controller and what each button does. There will also be videos that you can play that will walk you through it as well. In the menu under Customization is where you can set up specific controller profiles and map each button as you would like it. You can also name these profiles anything you want in case you're setting up for specific games. You can also set the thumbstick dead zones or select one of the 4 presets that they have listed for you. You can also do the trigger presets here as well, and they have 4 presets for those too, or you can set them to your liking. Under the game setting is where you can assign each game to a specific controller profile that you've created. Under the device settings, you can check for updates and to select the desired amount of time before your controller times out, as well as see your device layout once again. In the preference section is where you can select the controller profile that you want to be used outside the app. Say if you're using this controller with your Steam Deck, or maybe a PlayStation. Under the PS game opening, you can select whether you'd like the game launcher to open the PS app or the PS Remote Play app. Under the recording tab, you can select your resolution and your frames per second, all the way up to 60 so far. Under the My Games section is your current game library. Under the recommended games, it's games that have controller support with them. You can press X to add a game to your library, and the same to remove it. Under the rocket ship icon is where all your game launchers will be. Apple Arcade, PS Remote Play, and I believe the Xbox Game Pass if you have that. I hear they'll be adding support for other game launchers in the future as well. Back under the recommended game tabs, you can hit the right shoulder button and bring up information about the game, as well as see screenshots and also add it to your library right there. Under the gallery section is where all your game recordings and screenshots will be kept. It will also store them on your phone as well. The battery life on this controller is amazing. 16 hours straight. I've had this for almost a week and I haven't had to charge it once. It's still almost half full. On the bottom of the controller is where the USB-C charging port is located, as well as a Bluetooth pairing button on the right side of the controller. When it comes to gaming on the Scuf Nomad controller, the controls feel really smooth and really responsive. Even when streaming over the PS Remote Play app, there's zero lag, as you can tell by the beatdown Cody Rhodes is laying on Roman Reigns. Doing a little classic gaming, you can see that the D-pad passes the Contra test made famous by Russ over at Retro Game Core, where when pressing down on the D-pad and rocking back and forth, you want very little movement out of your character. I don't think you'll have any problem blasting bad guys and hitting the diagonals at will. And when it comes to the classic fighting games like Street Fighter, even though the D-pad is very precise for the platformers, I could just not get the hang of those quarter circle and half circle special moves. Needless to say, I got whipped. You can pair this to other devices just like the tablet or the Steam Deck or anything you'd like, and use it just like a regular Bluetooth controller. This thing is pretty awesome. The ergonomics feel good on it. It's got a nice rubbery grip on the back, and it feels good in the hands as well. So if you're looking for a quality Bluetooth controller to use with the iPhone, head on over to scuf.com and pick up the Scuf Nomad controller.
Latest Retro Rewind.
The latest Retro Rewind is Legend of Dragoon, coming to us from all the way back on June 13th of 2000 on the original PlayStation. It was developed by Japan Studios and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. The game began development in 1996. And about 3.5 years and $16 million later, this masterpiece arrived. Many at the time called it a Final Fantasy knockoff, but as they say, real ones and legends no different. The game received praise upon release for the use of, at the time, realistic CGI cutscenes. GamePro gave it a 5 out of 5 rating, while IGN gave it a 7 out of 10. The game sold over 1.3 million copies in America and Japan alone, and has since formed a cult following. Legend of Dragoon was re-released on the PSN in February of 2023 and topped the classic sales charts, remaining in the top 5 for the next 3 months. The game is an RPG with the normal elements of a map area, field area, and of course, the battle screen, which features classic turn-based combat. The battle encounters also features a quick time event called Addition, in which the player must press the X button at the right time in order to deal more damage. And who can forget the Dragoon character transformations? Legend of Dragoon features a unique cast of characters along with a timeless storyline. This is yet another one of those retro titles that brings back fond memories. So if you're looking for an epic adventure with grand boss battles, then check out Legend of Dragoon on PlayStation.
Alright everybody, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I'll leave a link in the description to the Scuf Nomad controller. Don't forget to check out the latest videos, and we'll see you guys next time on RPM Gaming.